on that and in the game, watching the film and all of that from Saturday. Just a lot of the same feelings I had, after the game. And I think the feelings, first of all, the team has certainly disappointed, upset, fired up, and I think, you're always looking at what the response is. And they came yesterday back, kind of, the thing you have to provide as coaches is the answers, an understanding of where we go from here. And I think our staff did a nice job, and I think our guys did a great job responding with the right mindset, with the right attitude, brought some great energy. Probably one of the nice things about having a Sunday where we get together is, we get to move on, outside of the building. The game gets held on for not a day, probably not a week. For some people, you hold on to it for the rest of your life. But for these guys, they don't get the choice. And we as a staff and them together have to move on. And we've done that after yesterday. Understanding where we got to get better. We know we're a work in progress, not a finished product by any means. And that showed up on Saturday. But the key is that we continue to improve. And that's one of our core values, is to have a relentless pursuit of continuous improvement. The guys showed that they want to do that, and, sticking together and owning it in every way. And that's staff to every player on the football team. So proud of that part. And there's each side of the ball, all phases of the game, where we can continue to just, keep building. We have a great football team. I'm convinced of that. I have no doubt of that. I believe in these guys. I believe in them more when I see the resiliency that they have, whether it's during the games that we've played, not just this last game, but different games. The way that they prepared that leads to the passion that comes out on the football field, and that resiliency. They got fight in them. They want to win bad. They want to uphold all the traditions of Alabama football. And, no one feels worse about this than all of us here in this building, the football team and our coaches. So we're looking forward to South Carolina here this next week. Coach Beamer, continue to build on the program there, doing some really nice things, physical football team. And, they're coming off of a tough game as well with Ole Miss there. And, things not going their way. So we know it's going to be another fight here in the world of the SEC. Questions?
Let's start with Nick Kalen front right.
Yeah, Tyler Booker mentioned when talking about just a lack of discipline at times that, focus he thought was an issue. How would you assess the focus of this group during the game?
I guess, is there more on the lack of discipline part? What was it referring to?
I just asked him, in moments where discipline wasn't good, what contributed to that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you come out on the short end, everything gets amplified, right? You look into everything on another level. And so in regards to that, since that was the question, you can point to every little thing that happened and it being a lack of focus or discipline and having to do it better. And I think what it really comes down to is doing it better over and over. And when we gave ourselves little room for error with the way the game started, right? They go down and put a nice drive together, and then, we have the ball bounce off the helmet, goes for an interception for a touchdown. And so we leave ourselves very little room for error, knowing that the plan that they already had in place, because it showed up on film in weeks prior to playing us, is that they will play ball control offense. They'll let the clock run down, shorten the game. They get a lead even more so. And then, the whole taking them out of their game is going to be harder to do because, we're playing from behind. So, offensively, we had to kind of probably lose some of the balance that we thought we could have offensively with a run pass. We had to speed up the game, try to add more possessions. We still only got 9 in the game, and that's having sped up the game. That's getting drives at the end of each half where we're trying to move the ball, quickly. So the little mistakes are always going to be, the mistakes are always going to be looked at as areas where the focus or the discipline wasn't there. But I tell you, our guys prepared, all the noise outside, the building, I thought our guys did as good of a job as they could. Everyone's human. So, I mean, the pats in the back or whatever they got, but I thought that they were focused on the right things all week long. The effort, the work that was put in seemed like a really good, solid week. The ball literally didn't bounce our way a couple times. We have to make our own breaks and do a better job of making that happen to where the ball ends up in our hands, whether it's forcing turnovers or making sure that, we don't put the ball on the ground and turn it over ourselves. So if all those things are, part of that, that question, then I guess that would add to what he said after the game. Book has a good pulse of everything that's happening on the team. And so, I trust that. And we've had great conversations, the whole leadership group since Saturday. And I feel like we're in a good spot.
Charlie, right side.
Yeah, hey, Coach. Just what do you say to fans who maybe wanted to see some more frustration from you after a loss like that?
That wanted to see what?
More frustration from you after a loss like the one on Saturday.
Oh, I'm extremely frustrated. We all are, but we're not going to lose our cool over that. We understand, what happened, and a lot of what I see in the response, even in the locker room, I guess, are you talking like press conference afterwards or something? That's really the only time you could have seen me, I guess. I think that's me seeing what already is happening in 30 minutes, 20 minutes after the game's over. And I saw extreme frustration. I saw guys wanting to stick together, wanting to still do something special, believing in each other, expressing that. I had my part in there too, where, we understood, what happened, and that it's not up to our standard and how we had to proceed forward. And so, yeah, we are all extremely frustrated. I mean, but we aren't going to sit and lose our cool because, I don't think that's the right way to go about it. There's a time and place for everything. And again, we're still early in the season. We left ourselves a little less wiggle room to achieve some of the goals we have, but those goals are still out there, and we need to just focus on what our whole mindset is always to improve every single day. And that's never going to change. And to improve, I think you got to have things in perspective and focus on the right areas. And our whole team is doing that.
Jump to the left side, Chase.
Coach Womack mentioned that Malachi had been held to account by the coaching staff to some extent. Is there anything that you can add to that? And was this a situation where a suspension would be considered?
No, we have handled it. And I'm just going to say this about Malachi. What he did, he has gone above and beyond in owning, taking ownership in it. And this is pretty much immediately after the game to this morning, things that are all prompted by him, but also part of just our conversations. The guy, I think the thing I want to make sure Bama fans know is that this guy has been rock solid and been at a critical piece, along with others. There are some others as well, of keeping this thing together since January. Okay. When a lot of guys chose to leave, this guy stood firm. This guy loves Alabama football. He works relentlessly out there every single day on the football field. It's the passion that I hope, questions asked about me and the passion and frustration. That's what you saw from him. And so, yeah, there's some things that, he regrets and wishes probably didn't do. Yeah. But he's owned up to it, and we've handled it internally and still handling it internally. And so he's a first-class guy. He is out in the community weekly, as just part of who he is, doing things to give back, understanding the platform he has. A lot of eyes are on our program. A lot of eyes are on him. And, this guy plays hard for himself, his teammates, but this program means so much to him. And so, doesn't make it right by any means what some of the actions were. But I want people to understand also that he's had my and our back since day one. And there comes a point too where sometimes, as things play out, you got to have your guys back, as well, and understand that we all make mistakes and we all, just got to own up to it. And we're doing that, and we will continue to move on.
Go to Kennington on the right side of the middle.
Through 5 games, this has been one of the most penalized teams in college football. How do you go about correcting that going into the second half of the season?
Well, I think we were doing a better job even in the game the other night. Obviously, there was the 15 yards at the end, right? The penalties, I think, in the moments is probably the biggest thing. And some of those calls are tough ones to have happen to you. I'm looking at Q coming in and trying not to, really hit the quarterback in an aggressive manner, but the penalty's there. There's not a recklessness about it as he's trying to get after the quarterback. He's just trying to do what he's supposed to do. And, I'm trying to think of a couple other, there's going to be penalties that happen. And I don't feel like that was the major play in what hurt us. It's a part of it. Just like anything, I said earlier, when you do come out short, you end up amplifying everything. But I think there's execution and just things that we could have done better. We need to make sure we don't turn the ball over. We need to get the ball in our possession. So again, we always talk about those things post game in our follow up. We did that Sunday. We talked about the penalties and just continuing to make sure we're working and focused on on that. And I think we had a couple games early, right, where the numbers really stacked up against us, and that's not helping our average, I guess, per game. Again, is it where we want it to be? No. Is last week's game where we want it to be? No. But I think that was a small part of it. All those little parts add up, and that's why you get what you got on Saturday.
All right, let's go to the left side over here, Michael.
How would you assess the way the defense adjusted during the game, and how involved are you in that process?
Yeah, we're always talking, and I'm, seeing whether it's taking a look on the iPad or just conversations with Coach Womack. I think the key with anything, and that's including our team, is that not overreact. Understand exactly why what is happening, and you have adjustments built into your game plan. And so it might be, mixing things up, but you also got to make sure that you're just executing against what you're seeing. And sometimes it might be something a little bit different, and you just need to have another opportunity against that look with the call you made defensively too, just to be able to execute better. So, you're always going to look back. Again, everything gets amplified. So you're always going to look back and say, well, we could have done this earlier or more or whatever it might be. Offensively, you do the same thing. And so, I know we've had those conversations, not just during, but after. And, again, the worst thing you can do is panic. When we have a defense that has shown had a lot of success here, through 5 games. And there's just little bits and pieces of what we got to do. We really, in the second half, I thought we did a much better job on first down and second down. The game was a first down game the first half. They put themselves in better situations. The second half, we just had to do a better job of getting off the field on third down.
Time for 2 more questions. Start with Ryan on the way.
Coach, your coaching record's well documented, a limited amount of losses. For your first loss at Alabama, what's kind of your message? Is you back to the drawing board? You said don't panic, or do you kind of just stay the course?
Yeah, that's exactly the words that I was going to say, is you stay the course. That's what the message is to the team. Now stay the course, right? But everything is always, just digesting what happened, having some perspective, and having the answers for the guys. That's what we have to make sure we do as coaches, so that we can walk away understanding what we can control, how we need to fix it, and just knowing that the next game, there's going to be different matchups that are strengths for us. There's also going to be different matchups and ways that an opponent attacks us. And I'm not just talking offensively, but defensively. And we got to be ready. This position group can't get one position group who had success can't get, all comfortable. I don't think we have, because you're the one that might have the tough matchup the next week. And as a team, that's what it's all about. You got to continue to work on your area, keep it within the team concept, stay the course, and just keep fighting, keep playing, and stick together. That's to me the biggest thing. And I've seen nothing but that here, in the last 24, 48 hours.
All right, we'll finish up with Tony on the front left here.
We spoke with Kane about it. Sorry, but Jaheim opting out, did that come as a surprise to you? Did you have a conversation with him about that, and how did that kind of play out?
Yeah, Jaheim, I mean, felt like it was going that way. I think the thing you also have to understand is there's other elements to this, right? There's health elements, there's life elements, and so I mean, I was, I love these guys. They work hard, and Jaheim's choices and things. So there's reasons for that, right? And so, he notified, has notified and continued to be in communication here with us, and kind of felt like it was maybe going that direction, not just today or yesterday or just here in the last few days. So, we move forward with the guys that really are able to help us win and focused on our program. And, as we go through this, and I don't want to put finality to it, but, always going to want what's best for all people. And Jaheim's one of them. Awesome. Roll Tide.
Press conferences are brought to you by McCurry Motors.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
It's official. 47 years in a row, Ford F-150 is the best-selling truck in America. Come drive one and you'll see why. Hi, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to kickstart the new year in a brand new F-150. Choose from nearly 200 F-150s, and we think you'll find just the right one. Right now, we have financing as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months on 2023 F-150s, and lease payments as low as $389 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $6,282 due at signing, zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends January 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, we have nearly 50 2023 Explorers for you to choose from, too, with financing as low as 0.9% for up to 60 months. Plus, check out our over 40 24 Bronco Sports and a fresh truckload of the full-size Broncos that have just hit the ground. Come on over and let's get the new year rolling. Woody Anderson Ford, Jordan at Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey Huntsville, looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, but nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
No, Coach, you're not on because your successor there, Kalen DeBoer, was just on relaying his thoughts certainly about a stunning result in Nashville that sends shockwaves through the college football world. And to be honest with you, I'm not too interested in rainbows and unicorns from Kalen DeBoer right now. Okay? I mean, how about how they won Sunday? You know what I mean? How they came in with a great attitude yesterday. No, I get it. I get it. The guy is positive to a fault. I mean, he's the coach. Better than him to be the coach, certainly, than some of us as fans, because we would burn the whole freaking place down. But it is what it is. And a funny thing happened on the way to the Alabama-Tennessee game and a couple of weeks of unbeatens. Right? Here we go. They're going to tear down those goalposts before the game because both teams are going to be unbeaten. Well, Arkansas got in the way of the Vols. And to be honest, what they were able to do to Tennessee's offense was almost as stunning as what Vandy did to Alabama's defense. Now, we welcome those of you that are watching on WZZN TV or our YouTube channel there. You can also be watching it on X as well. You really ought to check that out. And also to our listeners at 97.7 ESPN, the Zone app, and those of you listening over the air, of course, in Winchester, Tennessee as well. And ESPN Winchester. Lines are open now, 256-576-4977. Remember, no guests on a Reaction Monday. No guests. It's all up to you on a Reaction Monday. So I want to hear from you guys. Going to let you guys vent a little bit. I'm going to vent a little bit because this is just the way I roll. I got to vent a little bit. You can text the show at 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. That is a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The Zone is on X at 97.7 ESPN, and you can go ahead and give a follow to at ESPN Winchester as well. And speaking of apps, go ahead, snag that one, not only the Zone app, but the Talk Radio WZZN app for more great programming, including Huntsville High football and Army football as well. And you're going to need these apps this week because we are slammed with high school football again on Friday night in the high school sports streaming network. Now, look, I don't usually get hung up on time of possession, but goodness gracious, we're talking about 42 minutes to 18 minutes. That's what we're talking about there. 42 minutes to 18 minutes in the time of possession. I mean, that's a little bit out of control. I'm just going to say that. 75 plays to 45 plays. This was a master class in possession and position football. I'm a huge believer in possession and position football. Possessing the ball. It's a big key to keeping your opponent from scoring. Possessing the ball. And position on the field. It's okay to punt the ball once in a while. It's okay to make your opponent try and run a 14-play drive and not make any mistakes to go down the field. Because generally your opponent cannot score without the ball. And it feels like if that game was still going on, that the Tide would not be able to stop Vandy still. In a way, it was more frustrating than 2022 in Knoxville and in Baton Rouge, where those teams were going up and down the field with great athletes. Because this was done with the running game first and then play action off of that. And I say that to say this. Look, Vandy only averaged 3.1 yards per carry. But they stuck with it. They ran the ball 54 times. They were not afraid of third and short. 3.1, 3.1. Put you at 9.5 yards. Takes 10. You're at 9.5 if you're averaging 3.1. And then you have a 3.1, 3.1, 4.2, and you made a first down by a yard. You keep the ball, you keep the clock moving. You keep it away from that explosive Alabama offense. Possessing the ball, playing keep away, not afraid of third down and short. It was, dare I say, it was militaristic. I can't even talk. It was like watching Army or Navy with their keep away offense. And look, for those of you that want to pile on Milroe and the offense, and I saw some of those on the social. I shouldn't even look at the social after a game like that. But I saw some of them. It's time to give Ty Simpson a shot. Look, Alabama's offense averaged 8.8 yards per play. 8.8 yards per play. The pick six was a tip ball went off a guy's helmet. The only mistake Milroe really made was on the fumble, where he just lost any presence in the pocket. But I'm going to be honest with you. On that play, Elijah Pritchett got beat like a rented mule by that outside linebacker, Miles Capers. And it's not like Capers is Lawrence Taylor or anything. Pritchett's footwork was awful. He lunges at the guy. And then he face plants like a JV stubble bum. Like something you see in practice when you're going against the scout team, the look team, the third teamer. Where the guy like reaches out for you too much and has such, that doesn't bring his feet with him and is in such poor position that he face plants. But again, the ball was at midfield. Where's the sudden change defense? And furthermore, these guys, this defense, they play like they've never seen the option offense before. I mean, basic assignment football. Dive. QB. Pitch. Dive. QB. Pitch. Dive. QB. Pitch. Dive. QB. Pitch. And this isn't the first game that Vanderbilt ran the option. They got 4 games worth of film on there. Now, Vanderbilt's offense has mostly been pretty dang good. Somehow Georgia State figured out a way to beat them. Now, they ran up a bunch. They had like 36 points against Georgia State, but still, Georgia State. We're talking about Georgia State here, not Georgia. Georgia State. I mean, it's just basic assignment football. It was like they didn't have any clue. They certainly didn't get out athleted. It's just like they look clueless out there. They were like flummoxed. I mean, I got to be honest. I just hate watching bad defense. I was a defensive guy, 11 years as a coach. I was always on the defensive side of the ball. I was a special teams coordinator, but I coached outside line. I coached D-line. I coached inside linebackers. I coached outside linebackers at various times. I hate watching bad defensive football. I hate it. It makes me ill to watch bad defensive football. And I just saw 6 straight quarters of awful defensive football with some great athletes. Doesn't make any sense. If you want to watch some great defense, check out Arkansas. Travis Williams is the DC there. And the Hogs are flying around. They're playing sound football on both sides of the ball. Williams has been doing a tremendous job. They basically shut down that high-flying offense of the Tennessee Vols, which has not been so high-flying in 2 SEC games, by the way. Remember Oklahoma, 345 yards or so, 24, 25, 26 points, something like that. Arkansas held them to 332 total yards of offense and 2 TDs. And their $8 million quarterback at 156 yards and didn't throw a touchdown pass. They gave up one gash play to 53-yard run. Well, that's good. That was good defense. The Friday trifecta, forget about it. I mean, it was obliterated. Nobody came close. Who the hell is taking Vandy, Georgia, or check that? Vandy, Auburn, and Arkansas. Who's taking Vandy, Auburn, and Arkansas? I mean, like, nobody got any of them right, hardly. Beat the Big Dog comes down to tonight, Saints and Chiefs. I have the Saints in that game. And my opponent, which is Jeremy, has Kansas City. By the way, if you're looking for an actual pick, take the over. I like the over. Look, I don't even know. I can't even know if I can get to the Major League Baseball playoffs. My God, they ran a race at Talladega. I completely forgot about it. I am a gearhead. I am a NASCAR fan. Okay? Stop racing in October. I'm a NASCAR fan. Talladega is my favorite track on the planet. And I completely forgot I didn't set their thing to record. And I completely forgot about the race. I saw the last lap of the race. And what a last lap it was. Can't even get into that stuff. Maybe not even the NFL. Because the SEC is all upside down right now. Texas A&M is on top of the SEC with a 3-0 record in the conference already. 3-0. Most of the other teams have played a couple of games. I think Texas A&M, I think there's 3 teams that have played. Probably should look at my notes. I think there are 3 teams that have played 3 games so far. One of them is Auburn. They're 0-3. Kentucky's 1-2. South Carolina's 1-2. Everybody else. Listen, Ole Miss, Alabama, Missouri, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Florida, and Vanderbilt are all 1-1. Georgia and Arkansas are 2-1. LSU is 1-0. Texas is 1-0. Texas A&M is 3-0. And by the way, who's going to stop them before they get to Texas at the end of the season? Final game of the season. Who's stopping them? They've got the 3 worst teams in the league, State, Carolina, and Auburn, on the road. They play LSU at home. You tell me A&M can't be at LSU at home right now? And then they have the Texas game, which also will be at home at the end of the season. Oh, by the way, the Aggies are the 7th ranked SEC team in the AP and coaches poll. So there's that. The team that's at the top of the standings with a 3-0 record that's liable to go 6-2, 7-1, 8-0, who knows? That team is ranked 15th in the country. There are 6 SEC teams ranked higher than that. I think there's, how many of them are in the top 10? Top 9. Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Ole Miss. There are 4 Alabama teams in the top 9. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, back in the little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter, the Stacks of Wax, answering phones, hyperventilating for his Kansas City Chiefs tonight on Monday Night Football. Just jumping Joe Hung.
Baby shark, baby shark.
Hello, I'm looking for Thom Hoffman.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen. You can hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lift.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
And this is important because let's get that third one. They hit that little tank, get that heroic ability.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. So passionate.
Jordan! So long as Tennessee, you can't have what's left of me. And as far as I can tell, it's our time. I wish.
Hey, Joe, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. That
Song just then actually is very fitting for Alabama right now.
Oh yeah.
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 They couldn't wait to get out of Nashville.
Alabama is, goalposts all throughout the state of Tennessee should be concerned anytime Alabama comes to town.
Look, and here's the thing. I hope people don't understand this. The Vanderbilt is not that close to the Cumberland. Like, it's close.
I was like, they took it to the Cumberland.
That's a hike, man.
I mean, they got to go all the way down West End. You got to get to Broadway. They took it right down Broadway. The police tried to stop them. They broke through the Broadway. And understand this. Understand this. There was like 18 people that rushed the field because that's all there was there for Vanderbilt. They didn't have enough people to cover the field from 40-yard line to 40-yard line. They barely could cover the logo because it was 90% Alabama fans in the stadium. So like the 23 Vandy fans that were there got on the field, tore the goalpost down, and carried it into the river.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was in Knoxville where you walk outside the stadium and the river is like 100 yards away. No, that was a couple of mile hike that they took through Nashville, through the Gulch, through Broadway, all the way to the Cumberland. Like that was some commitment to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was commitment.
Well, I mean, they only, when was the last time they had an opportunity to do something like that? I mean, credit Alabama for polluting the rivers of Tennessee, for God's sakes.
Look, that goalpost ain't the worst thing that's in the Cumberland. It ain't the worst. It's nowhere close to the worst thing in the Cumberland. Probably they didn't even have to. They probably landed on top of a car or something that was underneath the water.
So what did they get? Did they get like one upright, or did they get both uprights, or
they took the entire thing. Yeah, no, they took the whole thing. There was somebody as it was crossing over the bridge that goes over 65. There was somebody that was holding on to the art that's at the very bottom where the goalpost turns into one pole, and it was riding it all the way.
So. Is it smarter to throw it in the? You think it's still in the river?
No, they pulled it out the next morning. Unfortunately, they should have left it there.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they should have left it there, but they pulled it out.
So here's the thing: wouldn't it be worth more? Wouldn't you want to cut that thing into like 8-inch pieces and sell it to all of it? Well, no, you wouldn't. I guess you could cut it into like 30-inch pieces and sell it to all the Vandy fans. But wouldn't it be cool if you were a fan of Vandy in that particular case? Wouldn't you rather own like an 8-inch piece of the goalpost that got torn down? Did they tear them both down, or did they just tear one down? Because they didn't have enough people probably to tear them both down.
I think they only tore one down, but make it part of your NIL stuff. Like, hey, you donate $100 or whatever, and you get a part of the goalpost that we tore down after beating Alabama. Like something like that you can, commemorative, something along those lines.
Raise money.
Yeah, raise money.
You could sell it. Yeah. How much would you pay for a piece of the goalpost? That's what happens. You beat Alabama, you rush the field, and tear down the goalpost. That's what happens. All right, we're going to break. When we come back, we start with the calls. Paulie, Wolverine Dan, Brandon, all are up. Go ahead and jump in line behind them. It's Thom Abraham Show. It is a frustrating overreaction Monday in the doghouse. Back with more after this.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Monday Night Football, the 4-0 Chiefs are home against the 2-2 Saints. The Chiefs reportedly are in the market for a wide receiver after injuries to Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown. The defending Super Bowl champions are favored by 5 in this one. The Saints at plus 190 on the money line. The over-under is 42.5. Kansas City remains the favorite to win the Super Bowl at plus 475, with the Ravens and Niners now tied at plus 750, and the Lions a plus $1,000 bet. ALDS today, plus 110 Cleveland sends Matthew Boyd to the mound against Terry Skubal and the Tigers. The plus 125 Royals send Cole Reagans against Carlos Rodon against the Yankees. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgating. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
The SEC Football Championship Game, the College Football Playoffs, plus the College Football National Championship Game, all play right here.
It'll be first and goal, Alabama.
The Tennessee Valley's home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone.
See, Joe's just trying to make me feel better. He just knew that if he dropped the Freebird bump in there, that I would just calm down. It's like he can't be mad now. I'm going to play Freebird. You know, the holiday season is just around the corner. Time to get to Owen Home Appliance Center and get a complete Frigidaire kitchen. That's right. If you buy the fridge, the range, and a microwave, you get a free dishwasher. Oh, it's like a $500 or $600 value. Maybe you need a commercial kitchen for that huge family that you got coming in for the holiday season. Let them help you with brands like Viking, Mealy, KitchenAid, Z-Line, Cafe. You know what we like to say about Owen Home Appliance Center? Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. That's Owen Home Appliance Center. All right. Phone lines are open, 256-5764-97.7. I got a happy guy. I have an unhappy guy, and I got a really unhappy guy. I think that's what I got. We start with the happy guy, Paulie in the Cape. Paulie, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, I'm glad you got the rest of the time to talk about Dolphin football, how they destroyed the Patriots, controlled the game. They're fantastic. They rule. And what else do we want to talk about?
The Storm. How are you? Are you still in the Cape? Are you bearing down? I mean, this thing is coming in. It's a Cat 5 now, they're saying, I think.
Well, if you look at the present and current radar, I hope it gets beat up by the Yucatan Peninsula there and gets broken up. Other than that, it's just a steady rain right now. I work in Estero, so it's a steady rain. If you haven't got your gas and you haven't got everything set up, you better do it by tonight because it's all going. And there's lines all over the place for gas. And, I got my house boarded all up. Thank God I'm in the Heights in Cape Coral, 16 feet above sea level. Woo!
Yeah. Yeah. You're 16 feet above sea level. That puts you about 20 feet underwater probably by the time it's all over.
No. We don't flood. We don't flood. My neighborhood doesn't flood, buddy. It drains pretty good. But real quick, SEC fans, I wouldn't sweat it. It just makes all these weaker teams think they're going to get into the playoffs. And if any of them do, I guarantee you the Final Four in the playoffs, 3 of them are going to be SEC teams. I wouldn't sweat this at all. It's a bummer Tennessee couldn't take advantage of winning, but hey, it's the SEC. Hey, you can see how it affects the SEC with the transfer portal. Vanderbilt has a team. Vanderbilt, oh my God, they can now, deal with a power team.
They lost to Georgia State, for God's sakes. They got beat by Georgia State. Didn't even have a football 10 years ago. Georgia State didn't even have a football 10 years ago.
Thank you for the portal. Now Georgia State can beat teams. Thank you for the portal.
The kid came from New Mexico State, though. It's not like they transferred in, Carson Beck. You know what I mean? The kid came from New Mexico State where he had beaten Auburn. Now he's beating Auburn and Alabama.
Well, how about that, huh? How about them Lobos? They produce product. How about them Lobos?
There you go.
But the point I'm making is all these teams, if you look at the betting end of it, don't take the team to cover because the underdog teams are not losing by much.
No, they're not. In fact, they're winning some of these games. I mean, you had to have all 3 dogs in the trifecta this past week. Nobody had that.
And I picked Auburn, thank you. So don't say no one did.
Nobody had them all, I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying nobody had them all. Yeah. A couple people got one here and there, Yeah,
everybody who picked Auburn got the one.
Yeah. Nobody picked Arkansas or Tennessee or Vanderbilt.
And did you notice the Detroit Kittens got destroyed and the Yankees? That's why you call them the Bronx Bombers. Go Dolphins.
Yeah, go Yankees. Dolphins got the win over maybe
just
the worst team in the league.
Tom, Dolphins won 15-10.
Yeah, they killed them.
They killed them. 2 of 11 on third downs, and the 3 or 12 of their points. It was a total of 372.
They had 372.
372.
Wow.
And so just putting that into context. Going into the fourth quarter, the score was 10-9. So just letting you know.
It could be worse. It could be the Cleveland Browns. What a freaking disaster that is. Will somebody please hurt Deshaun Watson?
No, don't hurt him. Get another lawsuit against him.
Somebody sued Deshaun Watson. The Browns ought to sue him for, although he could sue his offensive line for non-support. I don't think they like him. I don't even think they want to block for him.
That has happened.
Pritchett thinks that's a good offensive line. Crazy. This is what's going on, Joe. This is the situation. We talked about, I think Grumpy asked about tiebreakers last week with Alabama and Tennessee, and Alabama beating Georgia, and now Arkansas is 2-1, and Ole Miss is 1-1 with them losing that game, and Missouri now is 1-1. This is crazy. I mean, they're going to be. I think there's going to be 5 teams tied with the same record. I think there's going to be. I think tiebreakers. Whoever's going, and maybe it doesn't matter, right? Does it even matter whether you go to the SEC championship game and play that game, as long as you're in the playoffs?
I don't want to play that game.
Yeah, I mean, is it like, you know what? Yeah, we're good. We'll take the week off, and we got a home game after that. We'll play in the playoffs. I mean, I still highly value the SEC championship, but goodness gracious almighty, do you realize that in the entirety of the SEC, there are 4 teams with a losing record in conference play? South Carolina, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Auburn. Those are the only 4 teams that have everybody else is at least 500 or better. It's going to be a Donnybrook. An absolute Donnybrook. All right. Wolverine Dan is up next. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Natty Daddy, sir.
Not according to Bama Girl. She says, that's it. Your second loss definitely makes you Wolverine Dan out because you ain't going to make the playoff.
Bama Girl, did you win a championship last year? Sit down. Relax. Speaking of that, I got something I'll tell you. I'm going to break it down for you. And you tell me what you think after I break this down. Okay.
Yeah.
So you lost to Vanderbilt, right? It was 40-35, right?
Yep.
What was the time possession held for Alabama and Vanderbilt? Say it again.
42-18.
Okay. How many first downs compared to each team? Was that equal?
No, it wasn't too far off on the first downs. I think it was, let's see, Vandy had 20. No, it wasn't as close as I thought. Vandy had 26 and Alabama had 17.
Okay. All right. So,
by the way, four Vanderbilt first downs by penalty. And then Kalen DeBoer is up there talking about, well, no, I don't think the penalties are too big of a deal. No, they only had 6 penalties, Alabama. 6 penalties for 57 yards. 4 of them resulted in a first down. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so we could establish the score.
Yeah.
We established the time of possession, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you ever have a lead at the game?
No, this was the first game in, I forget how many years they said, that Alabama never led in the entire football game.
Okay, so what I'm about to do, and it's not even any verbal, but it'll be coming out of my mouth. And this is how I think about your game yesterday. Oh, that was a worse loss. Even
God, no.
When we played up, that's better. That's worse.
Oh
than
God, no. Are you getting beat by
That's
Appy
worse than
State?
Appalachian State.
Getting beat by
one. You were number one in the nation.
You were
You got beat like
you were
that?
top 5. You got beat by a team that wasn't even in the. They were at that time. App State was FCS. They were a football championship team.
Hey,
you got beat. You were a 40. Wait. Here's what you were a 43-point favorite. Alabama was a 23-point favorite. No, App State going to Michigan, and it was at Michigan. It was at Michigan. That's a worse one.
Nation, Tom. You're number one in the nation. You need to represent it. You let it down, man.
Oh, they don't let him down.
I told you about DeBoer. I should say DeBoer. I told you.
Why aren't you talking about Michigan game? How you got beat by a team that you're number 10 and they were unranked? You went in there and got dumped.
That was the last year. That last year they were in the finals with us. Okay, that's all that matters. We beat them last year, but we found our quarterback. I think Tuttle's the guy. So we'll see. It's not done yet. But the point is this: number one in the nation, and you got manhandled. Okay, that's worse than Appalachian State. I wasn't number one at the time. You were.
You were top 5, and you got beat by a FCS team at home. At home. You got beat by an FCS team.
Tom. Number 1 versus top 5 is a big difference. I was 5th. You were number 1.
FCS versus an SEC team.
You're
at home versus on the road.
This is not the last loss for Alabama. I'm telling you right now.
It might not be. I'll agree with that. I'll absolutely agree with that.
And two losses, and it'll be a bunch of 1 loss and some undefeated. You're out.
Yeah.
Go Tigers. Go Tigers. See ya.
Thanks for the call. Jake Tuttle. They found their quarterback. He was 10 of 18 for 98 yards.
I mean, technically, if we're using like the transitive property that Georgia State beat Alabama because Georgia State beat Vandy, wouldn't that mean that Mississippi State beat Michigan because Will Rogers used to be the quarterback at Mississippi State?
Look, getting beat at home by an FCS team is worse than getting beat in Vanderbilt as number 1. Being number 5 in the country and getting beat at home by an FCS team is infinitely worse. Not even a little bit worse, infinitely worse than going to Nashville and getting beat by Vanderbilt. He says that Jake Tuttle they found their quarterback, Jack Tuttle. Jack Tuttle was 10 of 18 for 98 yards.
Found their guy.
Yeah, they got their guy now.
My Dolphins destroyed the Patriots.
That's fandom. The Dolphins, the first 2 calls. Dolphins destroyed the Patriots. They're great. And we found our quarterback, Jack Tuttle. He threw for 98 yards. One more completion in the flat, and he would have had triple digits. You got kidding me. Oh, God, I can imagine what Brandon has to say. In fact, I'm going to hold that off to the other side of the break. We'll come back. More calls are next on a overreaction Monday, if it was, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Got a gypsy soul, I'm a rebel and rogue, and I'm always on the run. With a fire inside, I ain't ever gonna die. I'm a locked and
And welcome back to Tom Abraham Show. 7-minute show brought to you by the service team at Woody Anderson Ford, your award-winning service department. They're there for routine checkups. They can keep your Ford or other brand in perfect working order. And if you have a bigger problem, the expert service technicians will quickly diagnose it, use state-of-the-art tools to resolve it. Services include all kinds of things, preventative maintenance checks on things like belts and hoses and fluids. Plus, they do major stuff like air conditioning, brake, and tranny work as well. And they've got the convenient mobile service. They'll come to you when needed. It's Woody Anderson Ford. In the second hour of the show, by the way, which is also wide open for your reaction, Kirby Smart, man. Kirby Smart getting loose on his fan base. Dang. We'll get into that. Let's get Brandon in here. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you?
Oh, I'd love to tell you I'm better, although I was entertained here at the Flying J a few minutes ago when there was a trucker brawl broke out inside the place. So,
yeah.
So that's what's come to for Bama fans.
So, yeah, watching truckers fight, what does it? We're down
before I get into the awful, I just wonder, did Joe see my music suggestions for the Cadillac 3, being that they're a Nashville band? I didn't get any bounce back on that, so I just wondered.
I have not yet. I will let you know.
Okay. So I'm at the game, and at the end of the game, all these students that were not at the game started showing up. Some of them had tickets. Some of them didn't. They did like they did at Tennessee 2 years ago. They start letting all these people from outside in that weren't in. Otherwise, they probably would have not had enough people to tear the goalposts down. No. But you got 2 security guards standing out there and kids flying in left and right. They're not going to be able to stop them. They took all the people they had and went out to the edge of the field in the direction Bama was driving, and they were all down there with their backs turned. Mm-hmm. So that's what went on there. I watched them tote the goalpost down past the Kensington deck, turn left on 25th, and go out towards Broadway. I put a video of it on Twitter and tagged there, but I watched them all go right by. I mean, they turned left in front of me and went down the street, and I didn't realize they toted it 3 miles to the water. I didn't realize it was that far.
Yeah, they probably didn't know how far it was.
But the thing that kills me is they lined up and beat us with an inside zone and a split zone, and we never were able to do anything to stop it. I mean, the zero, our middle linebacker, just kept getting ricocheted off the ball and knocked off physically. And I don't know if that's a result of the bad scheme of them being, 4-2-5-ish or not being able to mirror with a 3-3-5. I'm not really sure what the whole problem right there was because I haven't been able to sit down and watch the film.
Their defensive alignment, if played properly, is perfect against the option. Absolutely perfect against the option. They just didn't execute it, and they just weren't able to execute the deal. And it was Diego Pavia on the perimeter. That created a lot of the problems. I mean, in the interior, they gave it to Cedric Alexander 21 times. He only gained 64 yards. He had 3 yards of carry. But it was at the moment in time. Thanks for the call, Brandon. It was at the moment in time when they were able to have success that really created a problem. Sometimes the stats lie a little bit. It's like, what did you actually do on that 3rd down and 4? Well, they converted is what happened most of the time. All right, phone lines remain open. Wide open hour for you to get loose. 256-576-4977 on the Thom Abraham Show. Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash, and the freezer's free, and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Patriot safety Jabril Peppers expected to be arraigned in a Massachusetts district court today. He was arrested Saturday and will face charges that include strangulation and drug possession. Peppers did not play yesterday. He was limited in practice last week with a shoulder injury and was officially ruled out Saturday. Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers sacked 3 times, hit 11 times in the loss to the Vikings, has a low ankle sprain, but should be fine to play against the Bills 1 week from tonight on Monday Night Football, according to coach Robert Saleh. In advance of Hurricane Milton, the Buccaneers are leaving the Tampa Bay area early this week and heading to New Orleans tomorrow ahead of their Week 6 game at the Saints. Milton has rapidly strengthened into a Category 4 and could come ashore Wednesday in the Tampa Bay area, which has already seen damage from Hurricane Helene.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
You want to get into some football?
The college football playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
And the national championship game all play right here.
Let's talk football.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on. Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn. I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show, hour number 2 on an Overreaction Monday. And this one has been kind of interesting in the first hour of the show. So, a lot of thoughts on what has gone on. Of course, what's happened throughout the SEC, not only, to Alabama. I mean, the Alabama thing is, that's mind-boggling. But then Tennessee's offense to get shut down the way they did, even my pastor was affected by that. My pastor comes up to me and my son at church before church on Sunday, Joe, and he's like, "Oh man, I was so excited to come in here and rip on all you Bama fans." We said, "Then Tennessee."
Yeah,
he said, "See, that's what it's probably the pastor's fault. It was probably my pastor's fault because what he did was he was going to ridicule Alabama fan in the congregation, and." What happened was God said, no, you're not. And now you're going to lose. So he's responsible for Tennessee's loss.
Him solely. It is totally on him. No, I think that attendance across the state of Alabama was probably down on Sunday. Yeah. Just because they, again, it happens all the time. The fandom is they're not going to go there on Sunday service because they're just like, I'm not going to deal with anybody giving us crap. Just not going to.
He did a message. It was kind of funny. He was doing a message based on all the awful things that are going on in the world, end times and all the things and hurricanes and earthquakes and crime and all of these things and how we got to kind of overcome that. You got to have joy through all the, terrible things that are going on. So he's going through all of the things that are, end times type of things. And then he goes, and then Alabama got beat by Vandy. Well, the first thing I thought was, well, you know what? He's right. It probably is the end times. It's just the end of the world. Alabama got beat by Vandy. By the way, we're only 23. They were only 23.5 point dogs there. I mean, it was, and you know what he was talking about, what Brandon was talking about? He was talking about people were coming in to the stadium that weren't in the stadium. I experienced that, Joe, at Kick 6. I was there for CBS Sports at Kick 6 and was actually on the radio nationally when it went down. And I remember turning around to get out of there. And as I was trying to get out of there, there were fans pouring into the stadium. As I was leaving, and remember, people were watching the Iron Bowl. They were over in the basketball, which at the time was a new basketball arena. They were in a new basketball. In fact, my wife and my children were in the new basketball arena watching the game on the big screen in the basketball arena. And everybody that was in the parking lot and everybody that was in the, in the basketball arena, they were all pouring into the stadium to party over that. Speaking of Auburn, Bill says, why should Peyton Thorne ever take another stat at Auburn after changing the play on 4th and 2 and not giving the ball to Hunter? Heck, even Hunter didn't know what was going on. Second game in a row that he did the same thing against Oklahoma.
Well, I'm sure Hugh Freeze will have a reason for that coming up here in a little bit during his presser. He'll justify it with how good Peyton Thorne is. He's great. Yeah.
The best thing Auburn did over the weekend is Travis Williams shutting down Tennessee. Former Auburn player Travis Williams, who's the defensive coordinator. That dude doesn't have a head coaching job like next year. Something's wrong. Defensive coordinator for Arkansas and just completely put the clamps on that.
I know a place he can come. I know a place that should have an opening. Shouldn't, won't, but should.
Yeah, I think it's a little soon for that.
Nah.
So, in fact, Vanderbilt is auctioning off items from the victory over Alabama. Among the items include 4 and 8-inch pieces of the goalposts, which are now sold out, and personalized helmets, the game balls, the pylons, the helmet, pylons, and footballs on auction are available to be signed by Vandy head coach Clark Lee upon request. Joe, the 4-inch piece of goalpost sold for $1,005. While if you wanted an 8-inch piece of goalpost, it sold for $4,035. The current sale price for a helmet that was worn in the game is $7,290. And for 2 pylons, it's $1,000. The third pylon is $920, and the fourth is $880. So you get a discount if you buy all the pylons, apparently. 2 game balls are currently going for $2,675, while the other 2 game balls are going for $2,750. That's what happens when you beat Alabama.
Put it into your NIL fund and go get some other good players.
I'm sure that's what they're going to do with the money. Who knows? I'm sure they're raising money for more players by
probably
selling.
Use it to buy an X-ray machine or something.
It's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? I mean, if you're Clark Lee,
no, look,
isn't it kind of embarrassing to?
He is seriously been working with 2 hands tied behind his back at Vanderbilt for so long.
Yeah,
he's a great guy, and he wants them to be able to win so hard, and that for him to pick up this win, no, it's awesome for them.
No, it is.
Maybe now their students will actually pay attention to the football team.
No, they won't. They won't, Joe. I was there when they were going 9-3 and going and beating the crap out of Tennessee, and they wouldn't go. I was at the Tennessee game in whatever year it was, 06, 07, 08, 09, something like that. I took little Abe. He was a little Abe then. I took him to the Tennessee Vandy game when I was doing pregame for Vanderbilt. They were playing Tennessee. They beat them like 43-10 or something. I don't know. They pounded them. And the stadium was 3/4 orange and white. They didn't go then. And they were going 9-3, making bowl games and stuff. No, I don't think that they I don't think they will. Bama Brad says, I'll never get into the show today, but I'm amazed at all these people that would rather see Bama lose than their own team win. Congratulations to Vandy. They played a perfect game and beat Bama. No excuses. Except I wish we ran the ball more than 11 times to the running backs. I told you last week to watch out for Pavia, Bama Brad. Yeah, there's no doubt. They were celebrating. I'm surprised. They might have tore the goalpost down in Knoxville. I mean, all around the SEC, right? You got to be celebrating this deal, don't you think? I mean, do you think one roll of toilet paper made it to a tree at Toomer's Corners?
Oh, yeah, probably. Absolutely. I mean, they have a live cam. I'm sure that there was one up at some point in time.
Effort that. So they get whacked by Georgia. Do you think they rolled Toomer's Corners at all?
I don't think a single television in Auburn was actually on the Auburn game. I don't even think that Auburn fans care that much about the fact they got beat by Georgia. I seriously don't. Like I had the Auburn game on until the Bama game started, and then I swapped it over there.
Probably happy they covered. They'll be like, you know what, we showed out, we covered. They did. They played well the first half, especially. I mean, they were right there. They did a good job defensively on Georgia. Georgia's been a second half team all season long, but they did do a good job in the first half. Certainly, I want to know whether or not any toilet paper hit a oak tree at Toomer's because Alabama lost to Vandy. I mean, if you're an Alabama fan, you got to take great joy in the fact that your team losing creates that kind of a reaction in other fans. You know, that's kind of a sign of respect. And by the way, did you see this story about Lane Kiffin stopping during his press conference and looking up at the thing? And then they said, and the headline on it was Lane Kiffin disrespects. I didn't think there was anything in about his comments that were disrespectful. I think the guy is in his presser and on the TV in the corner up in the thing, Vanderbilt's about to beat Alabama. And he's like, take a snapshot of that because that doesn't happen. I mean, that, you know, I don't think that was I don't think there was anything that Lane Kiffin said that was disrespectful about that.
He gets asked the question, and then he goes, how many timeouts does Alabama have? Like he's sitting there going, wait a second, hold up. Like, I know you're asking me a question right now, but I need to know what's going on here because obviously I haven't been able to really pay attention to this.
Yeah. And then you got this guy running down his own fans.
It was a great victory for Georgia. Tell you what, it was hot out there today, Shock. And if anything, to be honest, I'm a little disappointed. And I'm probably disappointed in our fans for the first time that I thought there was, you know, a lack of really affecting the game, crowd noise wise, passion and energy. And, hey, it was hot, but our players got full pads on, helmets, pads, and it's hot out there. And they're pushing, trying to have a home field advantage like we've had when we've played against teams. And I can't get crowd noise. You know, and that's frustrating for me. So I just be honest about it. I think we got to do a better job as fans. And I know I got to do a better job as a coach, but we need these fans to support us, and these players need them behind them.
Dang. Kirby Smart running down his fan base. Look, Joe, you know, it's tough. It's tough with a cupcake game. You know what I mean?
Oh, it is. It's absolutely.
You don't get up for it. It's not like,
oh yeah,
it's a cupcake game. I mean, you beat them up. You beat them, what, 10 out of the last 11 years? I mean, it's not really like it's not like it's a big game or anything. It's just it's the oldest rivalry in the Deep South. Cupcake game.
I mean, but they were already looking forward to the next week's game. Next week's game is going to be much harder. They got to play Mississippi State. It's going to be a much more difficult game.
They're not going to get up for these kind of games.
I mean, Mississippi State. I mean, at least they don't have like a mentally handicapped quarterback or anything.
That's just terrible. I can't believe you said that.
Well, it's not like he's going to try to swing at me. He'll probably miss.
LSU Lynch is up. LSU Lynch, welcome to the show. How are you?
Lord, my team didn't even play, and I'm still a bigger loser than everybody else. You hear me?
You're undefeated. You're unbeaten in the league.
Good. Look here. I wanted to take on an underdog last week. I did, just to be fun in there. And I come close, but the cold beer just stopped me, and I just jumped on the bandwagon. You hear me? Now, look, man,
you're 4-1, man. LSU's 1-0 in the league, 4-1, won 4 straight. You're right there about with Texas, tied with Texas in terms of in the conference.
Look here, listen to me. At least on this day in 1916, Alabama fan and Tennessee fan, I'm gonna make you feel better, okay? At least you were not Cumberland and got beat 222-0.
Yeah. Yeah, and that really bothers me, too, because I had Cumberland plus 150 in that game, but, it's another story.
Cumberland still had better athletes than what Auburn has.
Hey,
it was Georgia Tech, right? Wasn't it Georgia Tech that whooped them?
It was Georgia Tech. You correct. But look here, I'm a 49ers fan, and we lost by the one last night, and good Lord, all you fantasy football players, y'all still keep asking the question, well, when's McCaffrey coming back? And there's no answers. And it's just horrible. It's horrible being the fan Just everybody relax. But we're halfway through the season, Tom. It's time to make some kind of adjustments because look here, we got the old Mississippi coming to our house, okay?
Yeah.
And I agree with you fully. We won't be able to beat Arkansas right now. Texas A&M, like you said, their quarterback. Now listen to me. Their quarterback was out for 3 weeks. Was he not? He was. Made a huge difference. Did he not?
Yeah. No, you're right.
I mean,
that's a game of the week, by the way. That LSU Ole Miss game, that's the best game on the card in the SEC. Florida's at Tennessee. That used to be a thing. It's not a thing right now. That Ole Miss LSU game is the best game of the week. Oklahoma, Texas, of course.
They like mediocre on the pass rush, okay? But we, like I said, son, we still don't have a defense. But like I said, what you talked about a while ago, the ATM is on track. I mean, it's going to be very interesting. But it's also, you go back to where the Tennessee played to Oklahoma. That was not really a good game. The spread was 7.5. Tennessee only won by 10.
Yeah. Their offense was not dynamic. Yeah, their offense was not dynamic in that game at all.
And I think I asked you this a couple of weeks ago. Have you actually watched, the wild piglets get out there and put the barbecue sauce on people?
I watched a lot of them.
State game.
Yeah, I watched a lot of the Arkansas game this against Tennessee, and I was very impressed. I'm a huge Sam Pittman fan, though. I like Sam Pittman. He's got himself Bobby Petrino running the offense and Travis Williams running that defense. And now you wonder, can Arkansas get a little some going? What can Arkansas do going down the road? I mean, they've got they lost that game to Texas A&M. They're off this week. Then they've got that big one against LSU at home. LSU has to go there. They get Ole Miss at home. They get Texas at home. They finish at Missouri. So, they're going to lose 2 or 3 games down the stretch probably, but I like watching them play.
Well, they like Jim Beam up there. They're going to come hit you. Does that make sense to everybody? Those 2 teams they're going to come hit you.
Yeah.
It's like I said, you go back and watch the Wild Piglets against the Cowboys. That was a hard-hitting game, was it not?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Anyway, hey, appreciate that. Hey, y'all call in. Appreciate my phone call. Go LSU because we're going to lose.
Gosh, he's more negative about LSU than you are about Auburn. I mean, why would he be feeling that way about LSU?
Yeah, see, his is asinine. Mine's legitimate because he has a number beside his team's name. Yeah.
I mean, come on. By the way, Texas and Oklahoma, which for, 100 years, at the Texas State Fair, the Cotton Bowl, the original, not where they play the Cotton Bowl now, which is Jerry's World, but Texas, Oklahoma playing in the Cotton Bowl Stadium. That historically was always an 11 o'clock start. Always an 11 o'clock game. Always. Not anymore. Now that it's an SEC game, you got Texas and Oklahoma at 2:30 on ABC. So that changes everything. All right, we'll come back. Bama Brad, grumpy. I thought Bama Brad wasn't. I read his email or his text message because I thought he wasn't calling in.
What's funny is the moment you read it, he actually called in. Like I was on the phone with him as you read the text message.
All right, beautiful. All right, more phone calls next. It's the Tom Abraham Show. More after this.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezer's free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com. The Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, where thousands of area residents have received world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists. And look, if you got an orthopedic problem and you're considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Whether you have a work-related injury or got sideline playing the sport you love, you need the best care, the best physician, the best facility to get you back in the game. I think you'll agree that the Orthopedic Center is right for you. All right, phone lines are open, 256-576-4977. Text window is open, 732-982-7469. I've got 62,000 texts coming across my phone now. Not the text window at the show. My phone, Joe. My parents and my daughter and her family are all in Southwest Florida, and they're in direct path for this Milton storm, which is now a Cat 4, and it could be a Cat 5 by the time it hits. And my sisters, one who lives in Memphis or North Mississippi now, actually, and one who lives in Utah, they're trying to convince my parents to leave. My parents are not leaving. They're 85 years old. They have been through, I don't know, a dozen hurricanes down there at least. They've been there since 1978. They're in direct line with this storm. My father, who's 85 years old, still has his electrical contracting company. And, you know, it's like wet gold for him when these storms come through because he's got more work than he could possibly stand. His building is a block building that is inland, maybe a mile inland from the Caloosahatchee River. The horse farm that they live on is inland by probably 10 miles, 8 miles maybe. But they leave the farm and they head to his office because it's a block building that's been there since the 60s. And so his thought process is that it's been here since the 60s. I can't get them out of Florida. They're not leaving. I've got to tell my sisters, stop texting them. They are not leaving. They're not leaving. They're going to be there. They're going to weather the storm because that's what they do every time. They're not leaving. They're not leaving.
So you're not going to have to go down there and help him out?
No.
Okay.
No, he's got his guys. He's got his thing. My daughter They're going to her mother-in-law's, and they've got a $5 million home on the river that have 3 stories, and so they'll go up on the 3rd story. They got a generator that'll run forever, and they're not leaving either. My son-in-law's a contractor. They're, a home builder there. They're not going anywhere. All right, Bama Brad is up next. Bama Brad, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Listen, first of all, I'm not a front runner, so I don't want to hide when Bama loses. And I apologize for double dipping when I sent you that text, but I didn't think I'd get in today. I just sitting there thinking as you were talking about that, about your parents and all those people in Florida and all that. You know what? I love football. I live for football, but there's a lot more important things, and I'm not saying that just because we got beat. But you know what? A wounded dog you don't want to approach. So we're going to find out what the team is made of. I believe they'll rebound. I believe they'll be just fine. There was a lot of things that I think we weren't ready for in that game, and they didn't make a good adjustment. But I think the coaches will go back to work. I think they'll make adjustments. The kids will learn how to make adjustments a lot faster on the field. And I think we'll learn that we need to possess the ball a little bit more. So maybe we should run the ball a little bit more than relying on those big explosive plays all the time.
Thank you. Yeah, possession and position means something. I mean, just because you can score fast doesn't mean you should score fast. You know what I mean? Sometimes just controlling the ball.
Certain times, there's times for that, and there's times not for it. When we fumbled the ball there at the end of the game, we probably should have put the ball on the ground a couple of times there. But anyway, that being said, I think we will we'll recover. We'll be fine. We'll see what they're made out of. The other thing I was going to say, Danny Dan, I love him, Wolverine Dan, I love him to death. Play golf with him about once a week. But somebody called him Democrat Dan one time, and I think that might fit because he sure knows how to deflect. Anybody that thinks this loss was worse than App State whipping your tail as an FCS team, there's something wrong. So I think he'd make a good Democrat.
Oh man, don't call him that. I mean, you can call him a lot of things. Don't call him. You call him a lefty. You go blue. You tell him he's a lefty, and that's fighting words right there. You might not get to play golf with him anymore.
Does he not know how to deflect better than anybody you've ever seen? I'm just saying. Hey, roll Tide, them out.
Paul Feinbaum says that Nick Saban motivated Vanderbilt to upset the Tide, and all due respect to Paul, it had nothing to do with it. Saban said it's not a difficult place to play. Of course it's not. It's a home game for Alabama. Did you see the stands? It was 90%. I'm not exaggerating. It was 85% Alabama fans. All there was the student section over there. I mean, Nick Saban saying that it's not a difficult place to play did not motivate Vanderbilt to beat Alabama. Vanderbilt beat Alabama with an outstanding option attack, and they played keep away and did it great, and they made up plays on defense when they need to. But again, Alabama averaged 8.8 yards per every single play. Problem is they only had 45 plays. And then they couldn't get off the field. Vanderbilt deserved the win. They're still winning the game. If they're playing right now, they're still winning that game until Alabama figures out how to play assignment football defensively. Grumpy is next. Grumpy, welcome to the show. How are you?
Pretty good, man. But I wasn't going to comment on this. But yeah, Nick Saban running his mouth, that did motivate Vandy.
No, that doesn't motivate a team. We're going to win because Nick Saban said
Hey, hold on. Is Thom there?
Yeah, this is he.
Can I speak to Thom, the guy that tells me all the time not to eat the rat poison?
Yeah, but how does that motivate Vanderbilt? Oh, Nick Saban said that it's not a tough place to play in pregame. And so now they're going to get excited? No, they had a great plan. It's taken away. You're taken away from Vandy by saying that it's because of Nick Saban's comment. Vandy had a great plan, and they executed their plan.
No, I'm not, Kamala. No, you're twisting it just like Kamala does. You said it didn't have any. It had motivating factor to it. Nah. Is that the reason that they what? Is that the reason Vandy won? No. Did it motivate the players? Yeah. Didn't
that
they
last?
play?
You know how long that lasts? That lasts till you take your first shot, until you take your first hit, 30 seconds into the game, and then you're not thinking about any of that. You're just thinking about the outstanding game plan that your coaches put in and that you executed.
You know what, Thom? You are thinking about that if you win the first shot like Vandy did. Vandy won just about every shot in that ball game.
Yeah, they drove her right down the field, but it wasn't because of Nick Saban. It was because they had a better plan.
Didn't they play Nick Saban's video saying that over the screen after the ball game when the students were on the field? I don't know if that's true or not. I saw the video, but I don't know if it's true or not.
After the game. Well, did you hear what they did at Arkansas? They played Rocky Top. It was freaking hilarious. They had the whole field covered because they actually had their own fans there. They had the whole field covered with Arkansas fans, and then the freaking loudspeaker. They played Rocky Top.
Yeah,
over
I saw that.
That is crazy.
Hey, the one day I want to hear Brandon cry, and you put him in the 1 o'clock short room.
Well, that's when he called it like 53.
I think he did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we watched the Vandy game. We being non-Alabama fans, we watched that not to see Vandy topple you from your perch. It was to verify that you're in a different era. You're in the post Saban era, and you're not on top anymore. That's why we watched the ball game. That's why we're so happy about this. You're not on top anymore.
Wasn't 2022? I mean, they lost 2 in 2022. Gave up 1 million points to both. To LSU and to Tennessee. You could have said that then. They said it in 2015. It's a little early to throw dirt on them right now because I remember 2015 they were saying Bama's done and all that stuff. And
that's why there's so many of us right now walking around with shovels because we're throwing dirt on the top.
Yeah, they shouldn't have thrown dirt on your own guys. I mean, or that they're that.
Hey, I'm wearing a Vandy hat right now, man.
Would you have rolled Toomer's corner? Do you think they threw toilet paper at Toomer's corner? Do you think they rolled the yolks there?
If they didn't, I'm disappointed.
From everything I'm seeing, they didn't, but it was only because there was like a terrorist propaganda protest going on during it. So really? I think that's the only thing because that's all I'm seeing about yesterday.
Okay, I asked Hunk this earlier, and I want to ask you too, Tom.
Yeah.
What leads you to believe, from what you saw in that ball game, that if they played again today, that Alabama would beat Vandy? Thanks, man.
I appreciate it. Well, I just said that if that game was still going on, Vandy's still leading the game. Because I think that Alabama was woefully prepared defensively to defend the option. But here's the thing. I also think that the players were woefully prepared in terms of their own. I think they got the rat poison. Those mouse traps that they put out didn't help. That they put out in the Mel Moore Center. That didn't help. These guys went in. I think they probably had a lousy week. They can say all they want about how we're prepared and we're ready and everything out. They had a lousy week of preparation. Kane Womack, I mean, come on. Look, you looked at 4 games worth of Vanderbilt running the option. It's responsibility football. It's that simple. George Teague said it. It's responsibility football. Take the dive, take the quarterback, take the pitch. Alabama looked like they had never seen it a day in their life. And yes, I know it's hard to replicate and all that other kind of stuff. I get all of that. But Vanderbilt's not Nebraska in the 90s or Oklahoma in the 70s running the wishbone, or Alabama in the 70s when they broke out the wishbone. It's assignment football. Just assignment football. Now, if Elijah Pritchett doesn't get beat like a rented mule by an outside linebacker who basically ran him over because he had lousy footwork and lunged at the guy and ended up face planting. If that's not happening, who knows where they're going on that drive? If Jalen Milroe has a sense in the pocket that, you know what, this thing is closing down a little bit, maybe he doesn't take that sack and give up that fumble, which creates the two, ultimately. But then the defense goes out there and they can't make a sudden change stop. It happened in the second half of the Georgia game, and it carried right through this game. Carried right through. Now, nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw Tennessee getting beat like that. Nobody saw Missouri getting destroyed by Texas A&M. All right? Nobody saw, it was that we have this Saturday every year in college football. But you know what they don't do? I guarantee you, 100% guarantee you, they will not seed the playoffs and award the trophy after game 5. They won't. I got it on Joe. I got that on pretty good authority. I mean, I had to kind of go up the ladder. I had to talk to some people, the muckety mucks, and in college football. Bill Hancock. He's now retired from the college football playoff. I had to ask him. I said, "Well, are they awarding the trophy after week 5?" And no, they're not. So
that's a breaking news. Breaking news. Yes.
Breaking news. They're not awarding the trophy after game 5. It just doesn't happen that way. I'm just telling you, not going to happen. Doesn't happen. So we'll see what happens. Play well against South Carolina at home, and then go to Tennessee. Let's see what happens. Same thing with Tennessee. Tennessee, they're not awarding the trophy yet. See what happens when Alabama goes to Tennessee, then we'll know what you got. I had Alabama in the preseason at 10-2. They're going to drop a couple of games. I didn't think it would be that one. I'm dropping a couple of games. Had Vandy at 3-9. They're 3-2 now. Vandy might win 6 games, 5 games, 6 games, 7 games. Who knows? We'll see how good they are. Now we get a break. We come back. Keith, the Michigan fan, will lead off the next segment right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Monday Night Football, the 4-0 Chiefs are home against the 2-2 Saints. The Chiefs reportedly are in the market for a wide receiver after injuries to Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown. The defending Super Bowl champions are favored by 5 in this one. The Saints at plus 190 on the money line. The over-under is 42.5. Kansas City remains the favorite to win the Super Bowl at plus 475, with the Ravens and Niners now tied at plus 750, and the Lions a plus $1,000 bet. ALDS today plus 110 Cleveland sends Matthew Boyd to the mound against Terry Skubal and the Tigers. The plus 125 Royals send Cole Reagans against Carlos Rodon against the Yankees. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary. but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative, located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville. Their brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, their diverse menu has something to please every palate. And with a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, they invite you to savor the unique flavor of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Segment show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. With your average home equity at an all-time high, this is the time to dip into that equity and get yourself a home equity loan and get rid of those really high interest things that you have, like those credit card debt or maybe college debt if you weren't fortunate one to. I don't know. Have they done that yet? Are they actually doing that? They're not doing that stupid plan. We're gonna retire people's college debt because they don't have to pay for theirs, but I had to pay for mine. I don't think they're doing that yet. But anyway, if you have if you're one of the working people out there that have actually going to pay back your own student loan, it might be at a high interest rate. So take that average home equity and go ahead and pay that stuff off, and then refi when the rates drop even more. The rates are dropping. I told you they would drop. They're going to come down. They will. Go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. One of the casualties, obviously, with the storm Milton heading for the west coast of Florida, one of the casualties was the Nashville Predators were supposed to play the Tampa Bay Lightning. Joe, was that the opening day game, or was that the last preseason game?
Oh no, that was that was supposed to be a preseason game, and it was actually this I believe is the second time the game has actually been canceled because I want to say tonight or tomorrow is opening night for the NHL.
Yeah, stop trying to play that game. Boston's playing Florida in Miami tomorrow night, and that is opening night. You're right. Tomorrow night is opening night in the NHL. I don't know that they're going to play in Miami. That thing's coming right across the peninsula. We'll see. It's supposed to hit sometime tomorrow and Wednesday. We'll see what happens with that storm rolling into Southwest Florida, coming in from the west side. I've got family there, so I'm a little concerned, obviously, but I'm in regular communication with them. All right, phone lines are open. You want to jump in, 256-576-4977. By the way, I don't want to be that guy that just complains about something without offering a solution. So I'm going to give you a solution to the Alabama situation. If I were Kalen DeBoer, and I know Nick Sheridan's his offensive coordinator, but that's Kalen DeBoer's offense. Let's be honest. Nick Sheridan's calling the plays. That is the Kalen DeBoer offense. Nick Sheridan is the play caller. Alabama never runs the ball twice in a row. They never run the ball twice in a row. They handed the ball off 11 times in that game. All right. I know they threw for 330 yards and they were successful with plays downfield. They averaged 8.8 yards. I get all of those things, but they've got to get the running game going. They've got to get that running game going in some way, shape, or form. They got to start being able to control the clock They got to get some success in this running game. Jam Miller carried a ball 5 times in the game. Gained 45 yards, had a 32-yard run. Guy averaged 9 yards a carry. Had a 32-yard run. They handed it to him 5 times. Justice Haynes carried the ball 6 times. Had 24 yards rushing the game. He carried it for 4 yards a pop. If I were Kalen DeBoer, I would tell Nick Sheridan, come up with your 3 best running plays, and we are going to run the ball the first 10 plays of the game. That's what I do against South Carolina. That's what I would do. I would just tell him, we are running, and I would tell that quarterback, I get Jalen Milroe, and I would say to him, look, we are going to run these plays. We don't want you checking out of it. We don't want you going to some other play. We don't, these aren't, RPOs. We're going to line up, and we are going to run the ball for the first 10 plays of the game. Furthermore, and I don't care if you scored 3 touchdowns, just to keep running it. First 10, if you scored 3 touchdowns in 10 plays, we're going to run the ball first 10 plays of the game. End of story. We're going to get tough in this offensive line. We're going to run left. We're going to run it right. Furthermore, I'd tell them that, you know what? We're going to run the ball 30 times in this game. 30 times. We're going to snap the ball 60. We're going to run the ball 30 times in this game. We're going to run the damn play.
Coach called 26 power. We're running 26 power, mud, flood, shit, or blood, man. We're going to run 26 power. It don't matter who's there or what's there. We're going to run 26 power, and you knew you had to get a double team. You knew you had to get a kick out.
That's what they need to do. That's what they need to do. There's your solution. From a 64-year-old former coach, that's your solution. My opinion. Keith, the Michigan fan. Keith, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing all right, big dog. Even though my Michigan boys, we just need a quarterback. There's no excuse. Basically, we
so
got
that's
a very
not the
good
answer?
defense.
So he's not the answer. Wolverine Dan called earlier. He said that you guys have found your quarterback, that he was the answer. Jack Tuttle was the answer. He threw for 98 yards in the game, so you don't think he's the guy?
Yeah, the interception he threw the ball behind the wide. Golly, I'm losing it. He threw the ball behind the receiver instead of in front of him. I mean, it's like, come on, guy. But anyway, you said that nobody picked Vandy. You know, I picked Vandy. I pick anybody. I'll pick Mary's Girls Through the Blind before I pick Alabama.
Yeah. No, there was a few guys that picked. You picked Vandy with the points, but nobody had all 3 of those guys, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because Georgia killed me.
Yeah.
But, we also got to play Oregon and Ohio State $20 million lineup.
Yeah.
How do you spend $20 million on college to get college recruits and it's legal?
Because
NIL,
it's legal.
I guess.
It's NIL. It's legal. Yeah, you can absolutely can do that. I mean, Ohio State didn't spend the money. The Ohio State collective spent the money. See, remember, when they go to this thing where the schools can pay $20 million and everything, that has nothing to do with the NIL side of it. With the NIL side of it, the endorsement side of it, they can pay all they want. I mean, that's like in the radio business. You can have a job in a radio business. All right, my boss can pay me, I don't know, $75,000 a year salary. Well, I can go make another $100,000 a year in endorsement contracts.
Yeah.
It's not, you know what I mean? That's what's going to happen here with college football. You're still going to have guys making incredible amount of money because they got the money that comes from the NIL stuff, the endorsement stuff will be separate from what the school pays.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the Miami Dolphins owner, he graduated from Michigan. He spent $50 million some years ago building a engineering school. Engineering building there. $25 million to Michigan, at least $5 million for a quarterback.
Tennessee's got an $8 million quarterback. He threw for 156 yards against Arkansas.
I'd be very smart about asking the Dolphins owner to be paying for quarterbacks because the last one he paid for right now has a concussion, so I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Tua. But, it's a lot of Michigan people out here with plenty of money. We need to chip in and we need to chip in and help Michigan get a team. Talk to you later.
I appreciate you. I mean, Michigan fan, you need to be prepared. I mean, you may be going back to where you were pre-Harbaugh. You need to prepare yourself. You could be back to that. We get a break. Come back. Final segment is next 2-minute warning. Coming up right after this on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative, located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville. Their brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, their diverse menu has something to please every palate. And with a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, they invite you to savor the unique flavor of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezer's free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Your home for the best coverage of football anywhere.
See, now this is a football. I want you to carry this with you always. Never let it out of your sight.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Two-minute warning is brought to you by Minuteman Press. For all your ink on paper needs, it's Minuteman Press. All your promotional items, it's Minuteman Press. Banners, things like that, Minuteman Press. T-shirts, Minuteman Press. Pretty much everything, Minuteman Press. They'll do it all for you. They do it for us at the radio station, and they can do it for you as well. All right, let me just say this about that with the Michigan thing, because I blurted it out there. In 1997, Lloyd Carr was the head coach of Michigan. They went 12-0 and won a half a national championship, Joe. They won the Rose Bowl. And they got half a national championship out of that deal. After that, Lloyd Carr went 10 wins, 10, 9, 8, 10, 10, 9, 7, 11, and 9. He lost 5 of his last 7 bowl games, okay, including a couple of 3 Rose Bowls in there. They had to get rid of him because he was winning 9 or 10 games a year, and he won a national championship as their coach. Had to get rid of him. So they got rid of Lloyd Carr. He was 6-7, by the way, against Ohio State. They bring in Rich Rodriguez, who promptly goes 3-9. Because, Rich Rod had to have that Michigan job, and he had great success at West Virginia, and he had turned down Alabama. He takes ends up taking a Michigan job the next year. Goes 3-9, 5-7, 7-6. Get that guy out of here. They bring in Brady Hoke, who goes 11-2 in his first year in 2011. Goes 11-2, wins the Sugar Bowl, beats Virginia Tech in the Sugar Bowl. After that, it's 8-7-5. And then it's Jim Harbaugh. Now, Harbaugh, of course, he wins him a national championship. Last couple of years there, they had big years. He beat Ohio State 3 years in a row. He before that, though, he lost 5 in a row to Ohio State. But before that, the 7 years prior between Lloyd Carr and Jim Harbaugh, 3-5-7-11, 8-7-5. Got news for you. It's kind of what it's going to look like, I think. Sharon Moore? Really? I got a feeling that's where you're headed, Michigan. You're headed back to 7, 8, 9 wins, 7, 8, 7. I mean, we'll see how long it goes before you make the next move and who the next guy will be. In the meantime, Ryan Day is going to continue to win games at Ohio State. Now, can he win a championship? We'll see. But he's going to continue to win games. ESPN's rankings have Ohio State at number 1. Anybody that doesn't have Texas right now at number 1 is fooling themselves. I think right now Texas is number 1. But again, I'm just going to say it. They're not determining the playoff or the championship or anything after 5 weeks of the season. But if you don't have Texas at number 1, you're fooling yourself. Oregon at 3 is a pretender. That Ohio State-Oregon game is going to be massive. Penn State is hanging around in that 4-hole. Coaches have Georgia in the 4-hole. You know what the coaches in the AP don't know what to do with is Vandy. The AP put Vandy at 30th. The coach is like, 43. We're not going there yet. College football. Gotta love it. Watch the Saints and Chiefs tonight. Watch the baseball tonight. Actually starts at 3 o'clock with the Tigers and the Guardians, followed by the Yankees and the Royals. Good night of sports. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Joe Mixed the Show. I'm Thom Abraham. Paul Feinbaum's next. Have a great day, everybody.